এবাৰ ৰিকল কৰি ল digestion in the buccal cavity কি আছিল in the buccal cavity what will happen starch will break down into what disaccharide what will happen in the stomach proteins will break down into in presence of enzyme so this is happening in buccal cavity and this is happening in stomach. So next the food will reach into duodenum. So in the duodenum the proteases and peptones will break down into dipeptides in presence of enzyme trypsinogen trypsin chymotrypsin carboxy peptidase nucleic acid will break down into in presence of nucleases will break down into lipase fats in presence of lipases break into fats ki hobo diglycerides and monoglyceride aru ki asil starch in presence of amylase will break down into okay so all these are pancreatic enzymes so all these are pancreatic enzymes ekhineke sabar recall hoy gol In the buccal cavity, starch is broken down into disaccharide, that is maltose. In the stomach, the proteins are digested to break into proteases and peptones. In the duodenum portion, the pancreatic enzyme will release trypsin, chymotrypsin, carboxypeptidase, and it will break the proteases and peptones into dipeptides. Nucleic acids in presence of nucleases will break into nucleotides and nucleosides. Fats in presence of lipases will break into diglycerides and monoglycerides. Starch in presence of amylase will break down into disaccharide. Okay. So now we will move to the next portion. So আমি কি কি ডিসকাস কৰিছিলো? In the small intestine, what are the secretions released? কি লিখাইছো মই? In the small intestine, what are the secretions released? So we have discussed that in the small intestine, three secretions are released. We have discussed bile already. We have discussed pancreatic juice. And next, what is left? Succus entericus or intestinal juice. Now see, we will discuss what is intestinal juice. So see, mucosal epithelium consists of goblet cells. Mucosal epithelium will have some goblet cells, and these goblet cells secrete. Goblet cell কি secrete করেছিল? Secretes mucus. The mucosal epithelium consists of goblet cells, and these goblet cells will secrete mucus. That means if this is the duodenum, here you will find goblet cells. Mucosa is the innermost layer. So it will secrete mucus. Goblet cells are present in mucosa. तो cover to mucosa की हेतु ना जाना. So if you don't know what is mucosa, then you cannot understand what is all this. Okay. So this is the duodenum, and the innermost layer of the duodenum is known as mucosa, and this mucosa will have goblet cells and they secrete mucus. Okay. Plus there will be brush border epithelium, they will also release some secretions. Brush border epithelium কি আছিল? Brush border epithelial cells. Brush border means microvilli. So it is a modification of what? Which type of cells? Cuboidal or columnar. Okay. Cuboidal or columnar cells. So see, goblet cells will release some secretions and these brush border epithelial cells will also release some secretions. Okay. Both the secretions will mix together to form. So these secretions plus these secretions together is known as succus entericus. So the secretions released by goblet cells plus the secretions released by brush border epithelial cells together is known as intestinal juice or succus entericus. what is intestinal juice? The secretions released from the goblet cells plus the secretions released from the brush border epithelial cells together will form the succus entericus or intestinal juice. Okay. So succus entericus consists of digestive enzymes dipeptidases disaccharidases lipases and nucleosidases. Dipeptidases, disaccharidases, lipases and nucleosidases. And nucleotidases. So proteins will কি ফর্মত আছে after the action of pancreatic enzymes? Proteins are in form of কিহত আছে dipeptidases, right? So this dipeptidases, sorry, dipeptides in presence of enzyme dipeptidases will split into amino acid. Okay, the dipeptides in presence of dipeptidases will split into amino acid. Carbohydrate কি ফর্মত আছে after the action of pancreatic enzyme? Disaccharides, right? So disaccharides in presence of disaccharide will break into monosaccharide. Disaccharides will break down into monosaccharide in presence of disaccharidases. Acha, for example, maltose. Maltose is a form of disaccharide. So maltose will break down in presence of maltase. Maltase is a disaccharide to form glucose plus glucose. Okay. So maltase is an example of disaccharidases. Sucrose will break down in presence of sucrase to form glucose plus fructose. So sucrase, maltase, all these belongs to disaccharidases. Monosaccharide, এগুলা monosaccharide হবো না, disaccharide breakdown হয়ে পিনে monosaccharide form হবো. Okay, all these are disaccharides. Disaccharides will break down to form monosaccharides. Galactose will break down, sorry, lactose will break down to form in presence of enzyme lactase to form glucose plus galactose. So whatever is present in the food, maltose, sucrose, lactose, all are broken down into the monosaccharide form. That is the most simplest form. Okay. So next point you write maltase, sucrase, and lactase are belongs to disaccharidases. Okay, they are the enzymes which belong to disaccharidases. Nucleic acid is in form of after the action of pancreatic enzymes either nucleosides নহলে বা nucleotides. If they are in form of nucleotides, then by the action of nucleotidases they will break into nucleosides and further By the action of nucleosidases, it will break into base plus nitrogenous base plus sugar. It will break into nitrogenous base plus sugar. কি ভাঙিছে নিউক্লিওসাইডত ফসফেট না থাকে নিউক্লিওটাইডস বিলাক নিউক্লিওসাইডত অন প্ৰসেস গুছি গল ফসফেট বিলাক ৰিমুভ হৈ যাব ওকে নিউক্লিওসাইডস বিলাক ফাৰ্দাৰ ব্ৰেক হ'ব ফসফেট বিলাক বডি এবজৰ্ব কৰি ল'ব বন্ড ফৰ্মেশনৰ কাৰণে Diglyceride in presence of lipases will break into monoglyceride and monoglyceride in presence of lipases will break into so all the components present in your food are now broken down into the most simplest form okay So without understanding biomolecules, you cannot understand digestion. Google. So now open your NCERT book. Page number 262. जितो लास्ट ना second last paragraph 262 start reading from the second last paragraph and 263 second last itu last paragraph second last hole ki hobo yar pora hobo na itu Various types of movements, tarpora porha, various types of movements are generated through the muscularies of the small intestine. হৈ গ'ল done. हाँ কি লিখা আছে প্রোটি অর্থাৎ ওল এডিশনত নাই
এবাৰটো ইয়াতে লিখা আছে আৰু এবাৰ ইয়াতেও লিখা আছে প্ৰোটিওম আৰু প্ৰোটিওম তাতেও প্ৰোটিওম
प्रोटियोसिस अच्छा करेक्ट कर लो स्पेलिंग तो सो प्रोटियोसिस स्पेलिंग तो ओसिस হয় हां ओ एस सी एस So various types of movements are generated by the muscularis layer of the small intestine that helps in mixing the food with the various secretions of the intestine. Okay. So this is an important line. And next point is, all the above reactions takes place in the duodenum region of small intestine. So all the above reactions যেবিলাক আমি discuss কৰিলো will take place in the duodenum region. Okay, it will not take place in the ileum and jejunum region. Close to mucosal epithelial cells. Okay, so all these reactions will occur close to the mucosal epithelial cells. পানি আছে এসিটো বন্ধ কৰি দিয়ক পানী পৰিছে বোলে তাতে So that means the food will now, all the absorbed food, all the simple molecules will now move to which part? Ko jabo? Duodenum or pisot next? Large intestine? Ileum jejunum na jay? Uri jabo niki ha? Duodenum or pura? Jejunum, tapisat ileum. Okay. Acha, next see in digestion total there are actually 5 steps. First one is ingestion of food. Then digestion will take place. Then next step ki asil? Absorption. Then assimilation. And last step is egestion. Okay, so digestion is a 5-step process. First we will take in food, then the digestion process will take place. So ita amar 2 step over hoy goise. So the next step will be absorption. That means whatever the glucose, the amino acids, the sugar, the nitrogenous bases, whatever the simple forms are absorbed by our body. Okay? In which region? In the jejunum and ileum region. Okay? So next step will be absorption. So finally the food particles, finally the components of food are broken down into monosaccharides, amino acids, fatty acid, glycerol, nitrogenous base, sugar. Okay? So finally whatever components we have eaten with the food, they are broken down into monosaccharides, amino acids, fatty acid and glycerol. So এইবিলাক finally ক'ত হৈছে? In the duodenum. So now next step is all these simple substances, then move to jejunum and ileum. Portion of small intestine. So in jejunum and ileum, these molecules are absorbed After that, the jejunum, in the jejunum and ileum, these molecules will be absorbed and leftover undigested and unabsorbed substances of the food reaches the ক'ত যাই পাব undigested and unabsorbed substances of the food reaches the large intestine. Undigested and unabsorbed substances of the food reaches the large intestine. Okay, now what will happen in the large intestine? So in large intestine, two things will happen: absorption of water, some minerals and drugs. Drugs means the medicines, okay? So if someone is taking medicines, then these medicines will be absorbed in the large intestine. Absorption of water, some minerals and drugs. And next function of large intestine is secretion of mucus that adheres the undigested plus unabsorbed food into these are the two functions of large intestine. Okay. আৰু তলত যাব তো কি হল পিছফালে লিখা আছে তো so in the large intestine the absorption of water, minerals and some drugs which are present in this waste substances will take place, and there will be secretion of mucus that will adhere all the waste substances into a single moiety so that they can pass easily. Okay. So in the cecum, the unabsorbed, undigested materials or substances are called ficus. From the cecum, they will go into the colon, then rectum, and after that they will be released out of the body through the anus. Okay, temporarily stored in rectum. So this is how the undigested food are released out of the body. হৈ গল এবাৰ পাথৱেটো পঢ়া কি লিখাইছো in the duodenum all the substances of the food are broken down into the simpler form. Okay, then what will happen, the simplest food will pass into the jejunum and ileum. Okay, there they will be absorbed and this absorbed food will be used by the body. Okay, hetu portion ami discuss karim, absorption portion we will discuss now. Now what will happen to the undigested and unabsorbed food, it will pass into the large intestine. Large intestine will absorb the water, minerals and drugs from them, and it will also secrete some mucus that will adhere all the undigested, unabsorbed food so that they can pass easily. Okay. So, next they will go to cecum where they are known as ficus, and colon, then rectum. In rectum they are stored and they are released out of the body through the anus. Okay. Now, one more thing. Hoi gol sabare kabar kiba doubt ase? Okay. Next point. See, between the ileum and the cecum, there is a valve. Valve জানা তোমালোকে? Valve কি হয়? হাৰ্টত থাকে। Function? Prevents backflow. Okay. So, in between the ileum and cecum there is a valve that will prevent, this valve is known as ileocacal valve. Okay, ileocacal valve. So, ileocacal valve, it prevents the backflow of undigested, unabsorbed food from large intestine to small intestine. Okay. So, ileocacal valve is present between the ileum and cecum and it prevents the backflow of undigested, unabsorbed food from the large intestine to the small intestine. Next we will discuss absorption. So, final goal to ki hoy? The food particles, they must reach the kojabo. Jibilak breakdown hole, ebilakor final destination code. Jibilak food particles, glucose, amino acids, nucleic fatty acids, where they will go? Into different cells. So, cell substrat kune loi jay? Blood নহলে বা lymph. Okay. So, finally, see, main aim is that our body parts should get nutrition, right? So, whatever we are eating, if this is a cell, cell should get glucose, it should get the amino acid, it should get the fatty acid, it should get the sugar, okay, and nitrogenous bases, whatever. The final destination hoy cells, but cells tat kune carry kori loi jay, blood or lymph, okay. So who will carry them? Either they will go through blood or lymph. Okay, so blood or lymph will carry these simplest particles present in the food to their destination, that is the cells present in the different organs. So next topic you write absorption. So absorption. The process by which the end products of digestion here digestion or end product ki hobo? Glucose, amino acids, fatty acid, glycerol, other monosaccharides, nitrogenous bases, plus sugar, pass through intestinal mucosa into blood or lymph. The process by which the end products of digestion pass through intestinal mucosa into blood or lymph is called absorption. Okay, because blood and lymph will carry them to the cells. क्या हुआ इतना सैड हो क्यों? एग्जाम है क्या? कब? अभी से टेंशन? Forgot. The process by which the end products of digestion pass through intestinal mucosa into the blood or lymph is called absorption. That means If you remember, intestinal mucosa consists of what? কি আছিল? Intestinal mucosa কি আছিল? The mucosa of the intestine consists of foldings which are known as কি? Are foldings present in the small intestine are villi, right? In the mucosa you will have this type of foldings, and inside there ইয়াৰ ভিতৰত কি আছিল? Microvilli ওপৰত আছিল, ইয়াতে কি আছিল? Lymph vessels. Crypts of liver কোন এইটো নহয়, এইটো lacteal হয়. Lacteal is a lymph vessel. Revision. Okay? আৰু ইয়াৰে surrounding আছিল blood vessels বিলাক, okay? So surrounding the lymph vessels you will get so this green color indicates the crypts of liver khan base of thake, base yade thake ei bilak hoy, base bilak. So throughout the mucosa you will get this structure, villi thakibo, and inside the villi what you will get? Lacteals, that means lymph vessels and blood vessels, okay? So yate ki hobo? Suppose this is the see, what I am trying to explain is, this is your, let me say this is a portion of your ileum, okay? Etu eta ileumor portion boli koisu, and throughout the ileum what you will find in the mucosa layer, you will find এনেকুৱা পাবা in the ileum কি পঢ়িছিলা the small intestine, the mucosa layer are having foldings and they are known as microvilli. So if this is the ileum portion, yate ki paba in the mucosa layer you will find this type of projection foldings, okay? Aru ei foldings bilakor bhitor ki thakiba, you will find lymph vessel, right? And surrounding this lymph vessel you will find the blood vessels. These are the blood vessels. Are all the absorbed food, glucose, fructose, amino acid, all are roaming here, okay? Fatty acid, glycerol, so bilak yare ghuri ase, okay? that means here the glucose, fructose, fatty acid, everything is roaming, right? So what do you mean by absorption? The glucose, let us take glucose. Glucose from the passing the intestinal mucosa will enter into the blood vessel. This process is known as absorption. Okay? The process by which the simplest substances of the food passing through the intestinal mucosa enters into the blood vessels is known as absorption. Okay? एकेटा डायरेक्टली की হয় গুটেকেটা ব্লাড ভেসেলত না যায় কৈ আছো সবৰে সিস্টেম বেলেগ বেলেগ কিছুমান লিম্ফত যাব ফ্যাটি এসিডস লিম্ফত যাব হৈ গল এবজর্পশন বুজি পালা whatever is present in the ileum food বিলাক সব simplest format code হৈ গল duodenumত okay then it will come to ileum in the lining of ileum you will find villi villi ভিতৰত কি আছে lacteals আৰু lymph lacteals ase aru ki ase blood vessels okay so our next thing will be all these simplest particles will move into crossing the intestinal mucosa it will enter into the blood vessels or the lymph vessels kune kot jay etu ami etia discuss korim okay clear till this point okay See, next you write method of absorption. Methods of absorption. First method is simple diffusion. Next is facilitated diffusion. Facilitated transport बुलियो को. And the next one is active transport. Simple diffusion, facilitated transport and active transport. So তোমালোকৰ কথা থাকে তোমালোকে ক্লাছত নাহিবা better you sit in another room and you talk okay So simple diffusion at ki hoy? If here I have 10 molecules and here I have 3 molecules, okay. So the movement of the molecules will take place from higher to lower concentration, okay. So here the movement of the substances takes place from higher to lower concentration. Okay, next active what ki hobo? Same thing, if here there are 10 molecules and here there are 3 molecules. In case of active transport, now the movement will be from lower to higher and it is taking place against the concentration, right? So we will require energy. Normally ki hoy higher to lower jay, okay. Jodi opposite phale jabo lagibo titya hole ami ki dibo lagibo energy, okay. So you remember active and ATP is same. Whenever there is active transport we need ATP, okay. तो बॉटनी बहुत बार पाबा एक्टिव ट्रांसपोर्ट, जूलॉजी तो नहीं. Yeah, simple याते diffusion होए से but against the barrier, okay, against the concentration gradient. और याते हमें energy add करिसो. So movement of substances against the concentration gradient movement of substances against the concentration gradient by using energy, that is ATP. Multitasking harmful is about. হৈ গল তো ফেসিলিটেড ট্রান্সপোর্টত কি হবো you will have a protein you will have a carrier protein that carries the substances across the plasma membrane. Okay, so this will be the protein that will suppose carrier acil fructose. Yete fructose ase. This fructose will be carried by this carrier ion. It will deliver it inside the cell, and after that it will come back. Okay, so this protein will transport the molecules present in the food. Okay, so facilitated transport ekarne koy because someone is providing you the facility of transport. Protein Q carrier protein or naam na lage eitu stage ot poribo khali ki carry koribo etu poribo libo fructose carry koribo. Okay, in facilitated transportation is done by carrier protein. So carrier protein will carry the fructose, it will deliver it inside the cell, and then again it will come back. Okay. বুঝি পেলা তো আমি পড়ি আছো what is absorption. Absorption means the simplest substances present in the food, that means the simplest substances which are present in the food যেটো আছে duodenumৰ পৰা it will reach the ileum portion, and in the ileum and jejunum portion they will be absorbed. Okay, and absorption is done through the intestinal mucosa into the lymph or the blood vessels. Okay, now we are discussing how the different types of absorption takes place. Eta to whole simple diffusion, that means the movement of substances will take place from higher to lower concentration. Active transport, here the opposite of simple diffusion because here we are using ATP. Okay, and the third one is facilitated transport, here a carrier protein will help in transporting. Okay, next important thing is which you need to remember. Every alternate year NTA asks questions on this. Glucose, amino acids and chlorine moves through are absorbed through simple diffusion. chlorine নহয় chloride ions লিখা see this is very important baki kita belegotu paba ha chloride ions moves only through simple diffusion glucose amino acid ako repeat hobo next all fructose new NCERT fructose is not there but all NCERT fructose asil aru previous year question asil ha fructose and amino acids are absorbed through facilitated transport with the help of carrier ions like sodium. So here sodium is working as a carrier ion. Okay. So here also fructose is important because fructose is carried only through facilitated diffusion. Okay, jenike chloride ions are carried only through simple diffusion, but you can see amino acids are carried both through simple diffusion and facilitated transport. Next one is again glucose, amino acid and electrolytes like sodium. So now we are transporting sodium. Are absorbed through active diffusion. Here sodium is a carrier, but if you need to transport sodium you are using active diffusion. And you have to remember these points. Previous year questions aba they will ask fructose is transported through. So kenike monot rakhiba fructose aro facilitated, right? Facilitated F thakibo ha. Chloride you remember simple diffusion, sodium ions through active diffusion, and sodium ion also work as a carrier. New NCERT পৰা fructose to উঠাই দিছে হা new NCERT glucose লিখা আছে আকৌ but previous year question you will get fructose ha so glucose and amino acid is common for all the three modes of transport fructose facilitated, chloride and simple, and sodium through active diffusion. we will continue.